Hey, good morning, everybody. Just a quick update. We are at down to 3 days on the Kickstarter. A lot of stuff's been going on. A lot of things that have really probably taken up your time, and it's not really thinking about books or fun stuff right now because of all this crap that's been going on. But if you could find it in your hearts to help me out, I would really appreciate it. I just want to give a couple of shout outs. I want to say thank you to Jessica for giving me, for backing me. I'm not, I don't know who you are, but I really appreciate it. And thank you to everybody who's backed me up so far. The editor has gotten in touch with me. He says he's going to read it, and then we're going to start editing as soon as he's done reading it. And that's going to be cool because then it's going to start getting tight and awesome, and everything's going to be, it's going to be even better than it already is. And I've gotten some really good feedback from somebody. I have a special guy named, especially this guy named Josiah. Let me make sure I get his name right. Hang on. Josiah Ketterman. I put a thing out on my Douglas Adams board, and said, "Hey, does anybody want to read this thing?" And Josiah and another lady, Rose, and a couple other people too, but they haven't gotten back to me. But Josiah got it and said, "I'll read it. I'll read it fast." And he read it over like 3 days, and he got back to me and he says he loves it. He says he loves it. I mean, Josiah, he seems like a pretty smart guy. He loves it a lot. And he says he's really excited to read the sequel, so I gotta write the sequel. But I can't write the sequel until I do the first one. I mean, okay, I could. I could write the whole thing, probably. I could sit down and write the whole thing now. But, it's this thing's going to be a trilogy or maybe pentology. I don't know. For some reason, I want to make it 5, but it may not last that long. I don't know. We'll have to see. Depends on how much excitement the first one does. But anyway, it's definitely going to be a trilogy at least. So so he has helped me a lot, and I really appreciate it. So let's see some other people that in my life that have been helping me. Oh, I want to give a shout out. I don't know who or any of you guys know, but Not So Nerdy Nerd, this girl named Stephanie. She lives in Pennsylvania. She's a really cool lady. She does videos and stuff. She's kind of like, okay, so here's the thing, and I hope that she doesn't take offense by me describing it this way. Her videos are like, they're definitely not, if you're like hardcore into like nerdy stuff like comic books or Doctor Who or Star Wars and stuff like that, she's not really going to bring anything new to the table, but she's definitely very she has a really good presence on camera. She's really smart, and she does good reviews, and she does them in a way that I think that would probably, it's a good like introduction into, like, if you're interested in geeky stuff, but you've walked into too many places where people are geeky and it's like, "Oh, may I have you, my lady?" Or people are just like like way too into it, and they confuse you. She just does these videos that are just like, "Hey, I'm a mom. I live in Pennsylvania. I like this stuff, and I like to talk about it." And she does, and it's kind of like she just puts it out there, and it's really, really good. So, and she also does some stuff about like well-being, health, and mental health and stuff like that. So she's a really cool person, and so try to find her on YouTube if you can, and subscribe to her channel. She's Not So Nerdy Nerd, and I'll put a link in the I'll put a link in the YouTube thing for it. So anyway, so things are going good. I'm confident about everything. Everything's going pretty well. I mean, this shooting and stuff has been kind of like a downer, and I've been putting a lot of stuff out there about that. My mom thinks that I'm kind of taking it too far with some of my feelings about it, but what can I say? I've got feelings about this stuff. I think I think that the gun issues we do have to deal with, like the. No, I don't think everybody should be able to have all the guns that they want immediately with no problem, but I don't think guns should be outlawed. I mean, I'm not like that. But what I really think is that as a country, we just need to learn to be more brave and more. I mean, like, look at these issues, like what was wrong with this kid before he started shooting. What, not to find him and like put him in jail, but like to find him and say, hey kid, why are you so mad? Like, what is it that these kids are having now, that they're like looking at life and it's like life is supposed to be this way, and I'm being shown that life is supposed to be this way, but I feel this way, and it's not adding up, and it's making me feel crazy, and it's making people act weird. And I think it's got a lot to do with the way that we're like raising kids now. And I mean, and then my mom's like, "Oh, you don't have kids, you don't understand. Like, you can't just let kids run around and get in trouble." And it's like, whatever. I don't have kids. True. I don't want kids. I couldn't handle the responsibility. I have way too much empathy. I would like fucking lose my mind if I had kids. But I think that I think we gotta do something. I think we gotta raise kids better. We gotta teach kids that they're valuable, and not in a way that they're just valuable. We gotta say, hey, look, here's a challenge for you. You got obstacles in your life. You gotta defeat these challenges to get to the next thing. Everything in life is so nerfed now. Like all the playground equipment has like soft corners and stuff. And I don't want to see kids getting their heads beat in and like kids dying or anything like that, but I mean, there has to be some risk involved with play. That's what play is. I mean, we don't play with each other. It's like part of our like instinct as carnivores, as human beings, as it's our instinct to like learn to like work with others and like to deal with conflict through play. And like if all your play is just bouncing off shit and not doing anything and falling in like fucking bouncy castles, then it's nothing. You're not learning anything. Play is not just about. See, that's the thing. So many people like adults playing video games. It's like the reason that we play video games as adults is not because. Well, I mean, I can't speak for everybody. I'll speak for myself. The reason I play video games as adults is because I need a challenge. I need a like sitting down and watching TV. I'm not challenged. Like unless it's like it's some really. I mean, if you could it's interaction with stuff is what you need. And so, I don't know. We need more challenges in life, and video games can only take you so far. That time when you were a kid and you were like next in line to jump over the big rock or the big cliff, that you wouldn't die, but you could have gotten hurt if you fell at the bottom of this thing. Like if you were in that line and you were scared shitless, but there were kids behind you and they're like, "Do it, dude, do it," and you just did it, and you were scared out of your mind, but you did it, and you got to the other side, and you were like, "Holy fuck, I can't believe I did that." And you were just like, you accomplished something. And I don't think kids get that these days anymore. So, anyway, I talk too much. Sorry. But I just want you guys to know, just remember, my friend Steph, Not So Nerdy Nerd, and yeah. And the Kickstarter's going good, but 3 days left. Come on, guys. Give till it hurts. Or at least until it's, something. See you in the funny papers.